It's one of the devices that I made, for practice thing. It looks kind of weird, but this reminds me of hitting the ball, only hitting through the ball. It's like, making contact with the ball and following through. So I'm going forward and linear and following through the ball. And I also have the wheels here. I can practice where I can go over the ball and I can spin it like this, or I can go under the ball. Okay, so I practice both. It's a great way of practicing going under it, or I can go over it by spinning the wheel the opposite way. It's a great way of learning spin or teaching spin. You can also switch this around, and now I can practice going, windshield wiper. So I practice going up like this. And so if you can see me with this device that I have here, I can practice. I can go behind my back, or I can go in front of my back. I can do that both right-handed, or I can go left-handed. And I can practice going over my shoulder on either side. It's a great way of practicing. Okay, and I can also practice when I'm practicing right-handed. I can practice with a short racket like this, like a baseball player. He gets control as he shortens the racket, or I can lengthen my racket. I'm using a kind of old racket. It's called the Head Pro. I used to use. Put my finger through the center, and then I can practice like that. You can feel looseness to it. Sometimes that's a good way of practicing, so you can feel fluid and you have a fluidness and looseness there. You can feel the ball more like this. So you're finding the ball with the racket, you're feeling the ball with the strings, and then you're following through. Find it, feel it, and follow through. Find it, feel it, and follow through. So sometimes I use the F word. I use F, find it, or focus in the like me. I focus in the backhand. Find the ball with my strings, or my racket. Feel the ball with strings, follow through. And then have fun. I like to use the S for kids so they can have a little idea, so they can, when they go out there to play or practice, they can think this, I need to find the ball. Like a baseball, I need to find the ball. I need to focus, I need to find the ball, I need to feel the ball, and I need to follow through. And so you hear me teaching a lot like that. And then backhand, I can do it in the forehand. Okay, I'm going to focus in the forehand now. I'm going to find the ball with the racket here. I'm going to feel with the strings, and then I'm going to follow through. It's a great way. Find it. Okay, feel it, follow through. And this device I have, it's fun to create new things to practice. It keeps you enthusiastic, and that's why I do things. I'm always trying to improve or find different ways of practicing, thinking about practicing. So like I said, I can turn this around now, and now I can just practice, windshield wiper, okay? A lot of times you're hitting, you might hit off your balance, and you're on your back foot, and you lift up your front foot, but you're finishing, so I'm going behind my back, or I go in front of my shoulder, on the front side of my shoulder, or behind my back. It's a great way of practicing. I can also practice with the wheel, and sometimes what I can do is I'll put this table over here to stationary this wheel a little bit so it doesn't move as much. And now what I do is I can practice wheel. I just practice going over it. And so right now I'm practicing topspin. Okay, start low, come up high. Top low, finish up high. Low, finish up high. Low, finish high. So my back butt cap of my racket is back by my pocket. I come up with the racket and it spin it up. Here we go. To my shoulder, from my pocket to my shoulder, from my pocket to my shoulder. Okay, it's a great way for practicing my going over the ball, or practice spin, or I can practice going under the ball. And so right now I'm practicing going under it. I can do it with a half racket, or I can do it with a full racket. So I'm putting your finger through sometimes helps you feel the ball a little bit more. That's a good way. Find the ball, feel the ball, and then follow through. I can also kind of chop it down, where I slice it down like this while it's coming. Okay, it's easier to do on the backhand side. Okay, but the ball's coming at me, and I just slice under. I chop it. Okay, chop down. Okay, chopping, and getting that ball. Okay, and so it's a great way of practicing using a wheel. So I like using different wheels, springs. I like these wheels, and I like these strings. Trying to find different ways that I can practice. So I can practice left-handed now, and I get this bar going straight. So I can practice linear. Okay, so I practice linear, and this I can raise this up a little bit here, and it helps me remind me to hit through that ball, hitting through the ball. So I'm now practicing left-handed, or I can turn it around, and now I'm practicing right-handed. Okay, just a great way of practicing. Or I can stand this up going straight here, and then I can just practice. Okay, perhaps I can practice like a serve. Okay, so I practice going. If I get down, I can practice. Just going around the ball, just practicing spinning the ball, going around the side of it like that, getting used to it. There we go. Just practicing, just in the area. I can put it probably in one knee. Going down in the knee is probably better. I can practice slicing the ball. It's a great way of practicing. Just practice with the edge. I'm practicing with the edge, hitting with the edge of the racket for my slice. So practice with my edge. There we go. Okay, it's a great way of practicing. And when you think about topspin, I could just get both knees and I could just practice going over the ball like this. And just practice going over it. It's a great way of practicing. And so I can practice slice, edge. It's a great way of practicing on your knees. A lot of times you're amazed how much power you get when you're serving your knees. It's amazing. And there's not much more power you get if you stand up. So I'm practicing slice on the edge. I'm practicing with the edge, reaching out like a hammer. It's like a hammer grip, continental grip when you serve. And just practice, great way of practicing. And just going sideways now. Now I'm going like a windshield wiper. I'm going sideways. My rackets, if you notice, my racket's going this way. Okay? And so I'm practicing this way. It's a great way of practicing. Hitting that ball, I guess from this would be 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So you're practicing 9 to 3. So you're trying to hit 9 to 3. Or you're hitting from 9, you got 12 on top and 3. So I go around 3 o'clock. I'm trying to hit on the edge. That's a slice. Okay? And you can do it both right-handed and left-handed. It's a good way to practice. So if I want to, I could just turn this a little bit. And now I'm going to practice my left hand. And whatever you do on your right-hand side, do it on your left too. And try to get working both sides of the body, both sides of the brain. A lot of times when I'm playing, I'll actually try to hit instead of hitting the backhand, I'll hit a left-hand forehand. I've seen many times, I'll be playing and people hit right to my backhand. I just wail it with a left-handed forehand or right-handed forehand. It just takes practice. You have your ready position, you hold your racket, and it's great to have two forehands sometimes, okay? And so this is a great way of practicing your serve on my knees, and I'm just slicing that ball. You see how I'm going to slicing that ball? Or I can go this way, okay? On the edge. I'm going with the edge more. I'm going with the edge. And I'm hitting that ball, edge. Remember, you have more of a continental grip, okay? You're not holding the racket, with a sloppy grip, but you're on top. Your knuckles almost on top, okay? And you're practicing. It's a great way of practicing. So I tried to make all these different devices so I have it keeps it exciting, keeps it fun. And if you're going to be good, you got to find ways to practice. And especially right now, it's wintertime. There's a lot of snow out there. And also what I can do is I can practice going over the top of the ball. Going over the front like the 12 o'clock, okay? That's another thing, going 12 o'clock. And so I'm trying to go over the ball like this. And so I'm going over the ball. And you notice when you're serving, you're hitting up on the ball. When you're hitting an overhead, you're actually hitting down on the ball. But when you're playing tennis and you're serving, you're hitting up on the ball, okay? And a good thing I like to tell young kids as I teach them, I have them throw little sponge footballs. And I say serving is like throwing, or small baseballs. I have them throw mostly footballs, small little Nerf footballs, and try to get them to realize that serving is like throwing. And sometimes when I have opportunity, I take kids out into a field and I have them throw the racket, a bunch of rackets, and so they get the idea that serving is like throwing, okay? And so if I go left-handed, I can go on this side, and now I'm going to practice going over the ball. It might be a little bit more difficult. I'm not used to doing this on the left-hand side, but I practice a little bit and gets my mind thinking, okay? I'm thinking through it, whereas if I go right-handed, it's going to be more natural. I don't even think about it, okay? And so it's something that you have to practice. So it's a little stand that I can practice. I can practice going over the ball. I can practice going under the ball. I can practice, slicing the ball, okay? Chopping the ball or slicing the ball. Depending on, chopping, maybe if you think of chopping, you're like this. With slicing, you're more like this, okay? Going like a U shape. It's more like a drop shot, I guess. And so going over it, chopping it more, slicing, I guess, chopping it. Okay, another way, I can do this both right-handed and left-handed, okay? It's just a fun way of practicing. And so I get this little device that I made. It's just fun to play with and practice with. And so I hope you figure out, you be creative, inventive, and try to make things that you can use to practice at home too. And so it's a great way to practice. Talk to you soon.